Is this skin emergency?
Yes. Any erythematous eruption which involves more than 80% body surface area. It's called erythroderma. Blood that your heart pumps is going to the skin and not to the vital organs. 1. 2. These patients have a compromised skin barrier. So when a compound wall of a bank is breached, it's like that. The first line of defense is gone. So a lot of microbes, they start entering into the bloodstream and they can experience sepsis. Okay. 3. Along with increased blood flow, there will be loss of fluids and electrolytes. These are the 3 important reasons why you need to intervene pretty soon. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks to Dr. Erythroderma sir for inviting me to present here. I'm a dermatologist. I'm practicing as a full-time consultant in 𝐏𝐬𝐨𝐫𝐢𝐚 Hospital, and I am a private practice at Ammapete, Meenal Skincare Clinic. So I'd like to share a case that we commonly deal, but sometimes or most of the times presents to a physician in areas where dermatologists are not available. It's a common case of erythroderma. This was on a Sunday. This case was initially seen by the duty MO, and I got a call. The problem with these kind of cases is that when a dermatologist examines this case at the first visit in the OPD or in the emergency, we get a lot of clues because we are trying to see these kind of cases. But when they present to other departments, they miss subtle clues. We cannot blame them, but I'd like to tell you what to look for in these patients so that you will be able to pick them up and refer them to a dermatologist. To get these kind of patients in your emergency department, it's vital to examine their oral cavity because you will be missing cases of Stevens-Johnson syndrome. When the skin is tender, there is a possibility that this can be a toxic epidermal lysis also. So it's always better to do a 𝐏𝐬𝐨𝐫𝐢𝐚 sign and make sure that the skin is not peeling. The 𝐏𝐬𝐨𝐫𝐢𝐚 should be done in an area that is not affected. Once you do, I know everybody knows how a 𝐏𝐬𝐨𝐫𝐢𝐚 sign is done. You apply tangential pressure. Let me say that this is the affected area and this is the normal skin. I use my thumb to apply firm tangential pressure. If the skin starts separating from the underlying layer, it's called a positive 𝐏𝐬𝐨𝐫𝐢𝐚 sign. If you do that and it becomes positive, it means that the patient has a serious condition, toxic epidermal necrolysis, and needs immediate dermatological intervention along with physicians. Since the history was taken by the duty MO and I was out of station, I had to believe what she had collected, and then I admitted the patient. And CBC was done, serum electrolytes were done, renal and liver function test, CRP, ESR, blood culture to rule out infection, viral serology, chest X-ray, all were normal except for leukocytosis. And once I arrived, I did a skin biopsy, and during the time of skin biopsy, I had an opportunity to examine the patient completely. She had multiple scalp plaques, which were thick, micaceous, and they were easily removed. Those plaques indicated that she had psoriasis in the past. That was around almost 20 years before. And once she told me that there is a clue of psoriasis in the past, the diagnosis is clear cut. This is a case of acute generalized pustular psoriasis arthritis. When I say psoriasis, it's not just you ask the patient that do you have psoriasis or no, because in our country, anything that itches is psoriasis. So it's better to ask the patient if they had a scalp dandruff that was too thick, and if they had plaques if they had thick rash in their shins, elbows, back areas which peeled off like mica. If they give you this history, this is classical of psoriasis. So hospital admission was done for close monitoring because the skin has peeled off she'll be losing fluids, electrolytes through the skin that has to be met out with. Automatically recover. But in case of pustular psoriasis, your IV steroid is not going to help. You need to start oral retinoids or oral cyclosporin, depending on the patient profile. Emollients are given for symptomatic relief. So, if you talk about the close differentials, first will be for this presentation. First will be pustular psoriasis. This is immune dysfunction involving the neutrophils. They migrate to the epidermis and they cause pustules. So there is a genetic factor and altered T cytokine profile leading to excessive keratinocyte proliferation. So what are the factors in a psoriatic patient that can trigger a pustular psoriasis? First thing will be application of irritants, abrupt withdrawal of systemic steroids in a patient who has been taking steroids for psoriasis. So nowadays there are a lot of quacks who give treat with oral steroids. I mean, still treat psoriasis with oral steroids. When these steroids are stopped abruptly, these patients can have. And there are a subset of patients who go to the medical shop and end up using a lot of steroid creams. And when these creams are stopped again abruptly, it can trigger a pustular flare. On management of common skin diseases, for next 5 minutes I'll answer.
Is this skin emergency?
Yes. Any erythematous eruption which involves more than 80% body surface area, it's called erythroderma. Erythema, scaling and thickening of skin. Okay, this is a dermatological emergency. Your entire blood that your heart pumps is going to the skin and not to the vital organs. Okay, when a patient has multiple comorbidities, this is a problem. 1, 2. These patients have a compromised skin barrier. So when a compound wall of a bank is breached, it's like that. The first line of defense is gone. So a lot of microbes, they start entering into the bloodstream and they can experience sepsis. Okay. 3, along with increased blood flow, there will be loss of fluids and electrolytes. If the patient is an elderly, they will not be able to compensate. They will destabilize. These are the 3 important reasons why you need to intervene pretty soon.
Do these people have high output heart failure as well?
Yes. This is one of the most common complications of erythroderma.
Another question is, how do you differentiate between psoriasis capitis and scalp psoriasis?
Okay.
They both look very similar.
So in scalp psoriasis, once you remove the scale, the epidermis, there will be bleeding points.
There is a sign for that. No?
Yes, that's a sign for that.
Coldness, huh?
No, it's not coldness. The test is called Grattage test. Okay. Once you remove the layer, there will be a thin layer. It's called Berkeley's membrane. Okay. And there will be multiple pinpoint capillary bleeds. I just forgot the name. Maybe I'll share it with 𝐏𝐬𝐨𝐫𝐢𝐚 sir. I'll ask him to post it. Auspex. Biologics in these cases work for psoriasis, like etanercept, TNF alpha blockers. They do work for these cases, but we go with a conservative option because of in our country we still have patients who have issue of affordability. Even if you start with biologics, it's going to be like multiple sessions. It's not a one-time event. Maybe you treat with biologics when the patient is admitted in hospital, but they will need top-up doses, which they will not be able to afford.